Ah, Britain. A place of culture and history. We were training scholars in Oxford University while the Aztecs were still sacrificing people to their gods. How times change. More recently, we are known for being a nanny state, a country that wraps all its people in cotton wool and doesn't let them feel anything bad, at the expense of all your freedoms and liberties, of course. The most recent thing that Boris Johnson, our esteemed Prime Minister, is going after are nude selfies. He's considering making them illegal because that's somehow going to protect women and girls. The act of sending obscene pictures to others over Wi-Fi networks should be illegal, railed Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Sounds like someone caught his wife sending a few spicy images. He went on to rail against internet companies who neglect responsibility for what appears on their systems, spoken like a man who has no idea how technology or the internet works. It does seem like a big problem with technological legislation, is it's made by people who have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. Well, that's actually basically what a government is, I guess. A group of people who are experts in nothing telling you how to do your job. He also told the MPs he was speaking to that he was willing to look at the introduction of compulsory consent classes in schools. At this point it's gone too far and you can all take the piss out of Britain as much as you want. We have no defence anymore. And I am fully expecting to see in the comments, "You got a licence for that, nude?" There were also calls for public sexual harassment to be made a specific criminal offence. While personally I would like Boris Johnson opening his fucking mouth to be called a specific criminal offence. The problem is, sexual harassment, while a bad thing, is a fairly nebulous term. What does it actually mean? Does it go all the way up to groping, or is it just being flirted by somebody you don't find attractive? Because it could absolutely be weaponized by women. People calling the police and saying that some guy made suggestive remarks to them and getting them arrested because it's something that can't be proven and they'll be desperate to use it, so I imagine circumstantial evidence will be good enough in those cases. I find all of this quite ironic as well because Boris Johnson's own father has been accused of sexual misconduct in 2003, apparently groping a woman. The government is also a step closer to banning single-use plastic items like plates, cutlery, and cups. I mentioned before in a previous video that plastic straws and other plastic items make up such a small percentage of the plastic in the oceans that banning them is completely pointless. It was calculated around 50% of the plastic in the ocean was fishing nets, and while the fishing industry hasn't been touched, we get lumbered with paper straws that make everything taste like shit. You know, people in America really should consider themselves lucky because you have an alternative to the Democrats, you have the Republicans. Over here, we have our version of the Democrats, which is the Labour Party, but what should be our Republican Party is basically Democratic Light. You have Boris Johnson and his stupid hair doing all these nonsense green initiatives that really don't achieve anything. But I guess we've got to be seen doing the right thing, especially since we hosted the climate summit. This is a short video, guys, but it was a lot more off the cuff. If you liked it, these videos are much easier to make and I'll probably do more of them. So tell me how you felt about it. And trust me, there'll be more videos about Britain incoming because there is a lot to talk about that we do wrong and stupidly. And if you do like it, these won't be the only types of videos. I'll also do the usual ones, but just to pepper these in, you know, for taste. Anyway, thank you for watching, and as always, thank you for your time.